My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And it's back again, everyone's favorite segment, What We're Watching. Woo!
I feel like you said that about news, too.
Well, no, okay, like, I said that the Newsnas were back again. But everyone does love the What We're Watching segment. So we will continue to do it, you know?
Hey,
like, as long as y'all enjoy listening.
Easiest one as far as, like, homework goes. Because it's just
That's true.
whatever we're watching.
And don't forget to tune in on Wednesday for a special extra episode of what we've been listening to. But that's for Wednesday. So for today, we're going to be talking about all the stuff we've been watching since the last time we talked about all the stuff we've been watching. So, who would like to go first to, begin the process of spilling tea on ourselves?
I can.
Go, Sky.
Right.
I actually watched more than usual now. I have finally recouped my desire to watch more things.
That's
so
good. Nice.
yes, yay for more variety. Because whenever I was not really watching a lot, you kind of just watch the same few things or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in order to watch more, I've just accepted the fact that I really am not that great with keeping up with most on-air things. I still am keeping up with a couple of on-air things, the ones that I'm just really, really enjoying. Other than that, I've just accepted the fact that I'm either going to be really behind or I'm just going to catch up someday.
Same.
Now, there's always going to probably be at least one or two dramas that I will be watching on air because it'll either be an idol kid that I want to watch as they're performing or something like that, or something just hooks me. So what's been hooking me has been You Are My Hero. So You Are My Hero is a C-drama. I would say it's to episode 30 now. How many come out in a week? I feel like they get 2 new episodes 4 or 5 days a week, so they've been cranking them out pretty quick the past few weeks. Vicky is where I'm watching it. I think it's on WeTV as well. If you pretend that you're not where we are, if you
VPN it, if you can take a little VPN.
If you fly a different flag on your pirate ship.
Yes.
Well, if you really. Right,
it's
that's
not pirating.
Yeah.
For most
people,
countries, there are countries that those are that actually.
Those people are often the people who are trying to keep up with it. I won't name any names, but I know someone specifically, one of my friends. They are VPNing and they are paying for that sucker. So the subscription. So I mean, at least they're paying for it. I personally, whenever I've gotten impatient for some subs on Viki, I have flown my little pirate flag, maybe, but whatever. I also watch on Viki. So I really enjoy it. It is, everyone will be is comparing it to Dot's Dissonance of the Sun. It is very different than that, but the way it is similar is the male lead is a special forces SWAT team police officer fella. So military side of stuff, he's always training and things like that. And then the female lead is a doctor. So that is how you get, it's Dot, so we're getting, and then they do have emergency scenarios that do come up. And there was even a section of the show that was go to a different place and rescue people. So I can see how people do bring up the similarities because you can't really avoid. There aren't many shows that do that have been popular, but as far as the characters are way different, like personality wise, and just I prefer it over Dots if you have to ask me. Because you're also not dealing with the random fictitious country situation, whatever was going on in Dots. I'm not really sure what that was.
It was like a fake Gennaro Middle Eastern country.
There was some strangeness with that, in my opinion. But and the female lead is much more. She'll say her mind, but she is a quiet type of person. So that she's definitely different. But I really enjoy it. The secondary leads are cute. It's a good time. It's one of those shows that clicks by really quick when you're watching it. So that's how I got hooked on it pretty fast.
Nice.
So that set me on, and I think that show's pretty much what brought me back to, I want to watch more. I think when you hit something that you really enjoy, it's finally like, well, I'm in the groove of watching again. So to fill my time, then I watched, I didn't write it down. No, it's because it's not my currently watching. It's because I finished it. You'll have to cut this out, Jessie. I apologize.
She ain't gonna cut it out. She's gonna leave your horror in.
You go right ahead. Let me go to my custom list right here. Watched 2021. It's at the bottom. Be With You. There would have been no way I would have remembered that title. Be With You.
It's a pretty generic title. I'll give it that.
So, Be With You. I actually loved it. I really did. It has a lot of actual really big issues, though, and so I'm going to have to talk about them. I'm not going to spoil anything, but to me, I'm going to have to bring up specific things because there are important things. So, the main leads are, aside from the typical, like, sometimes forceful male lead thing, you don't have a ton of problematic stuff with the main leads. They're super cute. No consent issues. Everything was fine. And that's why I enjoyed the show. Their storyline was great. That's why I liked it. There was even a dog involved. So that helped, Professor and cartoonist, like, get together. It was a good time. There are two other couples, and I won't get into all of it, but the reason I have to talk about them is they do have major issues. The first one was, there was a joke about sexual assault. Like, the female acted like she sexually assaulted the male whenever he was not coherent. It didn't really happen, but that kept on being a thing. It wasn't like a one-time say it and drop it. It was a ongoing conversation. So that was the worst part of that. But then they kind of kept having consent issues, but nothing that serious. But it would, since you start off with that, they continued to have issues. The other couple, really hard to talk about. So the female in that couple was about to turn 20. The male in that couple was noticeably older, which age gap, not a big deal, except for the whole underage thing, right? You keep on having flashbacks of when he pretty much raised her after her father had died.
No.
Now, as far as, you usually see them actually being more of in a friendship the entire show. They really, they don't cross barriers until much farther in the show, when she finally, the day she turns 20 or whatever the crap happened. So, but like, it's not okay. So this show, that's why it's really hard for me to say. I really did enjoy this show. The main couple and that plot line I found super enjoyable, but these two other plot lines, like, they totally just blew up while I was watching them. So I don't know if I can even say I highly recommend it to anybody, unless you're just watching the two main people who aren't going to really have any issues. So sorry I had to go there, but that's what happens.
Hey, it's good to warn people.
Yeah.
No one likes to be hoodwinked by that. Like,
no.
I mean, I don't go read all these reviews before I start a show. So it's possible that, someone might have warned on MDL. I don't know. I don't go read all the reviews because I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
And I haven't even spoiled. I'm just explaining those are things that I, in good conscience, can't say, I'm going to keep recommending the show. I'm honestly never going to recommend it to anybody, aside from the fact that I did enjoy the main characters. You could have just cut out... And the sad part is those other characters were actually good characters. Like, they were written well and all these things, but then when
that's terrible.
So, problematic. There you go. So... I binged that show very quickly within one weekend, a couple weekends ago. I was bummed whenever all the bad stuff happened. So then I was on a C-drama kick, and I was kind of just looking through. The lead guy from that show was in a show called SCI. SCI, I am now 10 episodes into it. It's on YouTube. it continues to pretty much be a parody of a crime show. I think it really has to know that it's a parody of a crime show at this point. It's too silly to like not know it's a parody of a crime show. There's too much humor in it to be, and it is as if they looked at it at like an American show, and they took like the bit of levity that one of those shows has, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna take this and we're gonna just run with it, and just like that's really all we're gonna do.
It's him putting on the sunglasses on CSI Miami the last time.
Yeah, like one scene was literally the two main guys, and one of them's like, shoot, I forgot to go pick my sister up at the hospital. And the other one goes, well, I'm not going, she's mean. And he's like, you're going with me. And he goes and gets handcuffs and handcuffs himself to him and drags him out the door. And then as they're running out the door, the rest on this special investigation team are watching them like, what are they going to go to?
Kind of sounds like, kind of like an older detective show. Like
it sounds like
from the 70s.
It feels like a sitcom. Like it's
like
very
I was
sitcom.
gonna say almost like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but like not quite or something.
But not,
like I don't
like.
But
it
not
feels like a
documentary
70s
style.
show.
Yeah.
It feels like just one of those, like Magnum PI type thing. We're just gonna be silly.
Like I could
most
see
of the
something
time.
like, Charlie's Angels doing something like that.
Yeah.
So it's
But then they have pretty good stunts. The plot line is actually like really interesting. Now I will say a lot of it's like, hey, psychologically, and then they'll say something and they're just making crap up. So they're kind of using like psychology, like magic kind of. There's a lot of hypnosis just for fun. It's pretty crazy. Like the bad guy just randomly controls people. It's like, okay. It's pretty good. But yeah, sitcom, I highly recommend it so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's very obviously, it's adapted from a novel, a same-sex couple novel. So it's a censored that's very obvious. They actually are pretty upfront about that stuff. So if you're into that type of thing. Sisyphus. There was a weekend. I caught up on some of that. I'm now way behind again. Sisyphus is Sisyphus.
I'm in it to win it with this show, guys.
I will eventually finish it.
so behind in it, but then
but
I see people tweet and I'm like, I kind of want to know what's going on, so I might dip back in. I
can't say a single word about it without giving stuff away, but it is what it is. Sisyphus is a thing.
No, it has got me. It has got me in its little grips, and it will not let go.
One thing I will say, just like we had said on the Sisyphus episode, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to that,
you should.
Feel free to go do that. I do like the flashbacks way more than the present stuff. Revolutionary Sisters. That is the Weekender family drama.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode. I was very proud that I watched the first episode of a Weekender.
Just dip your toes in.
And if I wasn't way into other stuff, I probably would continue to try. But has anyone else watched it?
No, I have not. I was going to, but then somebody said, I don't like any of these characters. Nobody is likable. And I was like, I'm not going to, because I'm at the point where I'd have to pay for the 24-hour pass on Kakao. I was like, I don't want to pay for it.
It's the one we wanted to watch, right?
Yeah.
So even in the first episode, you see, now I know him from that airport show.
Where Stars Land?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the little security guard.
We also have an episode on.
Yes, so
yeah,
if you want to
go
feel free.
That the little security guard puppy kid from that show. He's trying to be a rocker, so he has this long hair wig on, and just all these rocker clothes, and he's carrying around his guitar. He is a main character, but the main characters are like these three sisters and stuff. So, but they keep showing parts. Just in the first episode, a lot happened. But yes, by the end of the first episode, you pretty much, aside from him, his character is likable because he hasn't done anything awful.
I think that's what somebody said. It's like there's one character.
Yeah.
Great.
Pretty much across the board, you're like, I'm not sure I trust or support anybody else in this show. by the end of the first episode, which at the beginning of the episode, you're like, oh, these three sisters, like, I'm on board with them. And then by the end of it, you're like, no, I'm not really enjoying this. So I probably won't pick it back up because there's other stuff in the world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, if I ever do want to, like, I'm going to watch a Weekender, it'll still probably be the one I watch because I'm curious about that character. Because even in the first episode, it is like, we want you to sing Trot. And he's like, but I want to be a rocker. And then there's a baby involved. It's just really weird. 2 babies. I forgot 2. So he had one on the front and one on the back when he had to do this audition. Really funny. The entire first episode is very... Not going to get into all of it, but it's like their mom wants to divorce their dad, and they're trying to support the mom. But then by the end, you're wondering if that's really what's supposed to be happening. But the whole time they've been talking about how awful the dad has been to the mom their entire lives. So it's just, that's why I feel like a lot of Western viewers, it would be very difficult for us to be cool with wanting to then saunter on to continue to watch it. It made it really odd to me because the entire episode was it sounded like the man was like emotionally abusive.
And then you're supposed to like him at the end.
And then by the end, they tried to show some flashbacks and these things that, like, okay, maybe the mom's story isn't trustworthy. Okay, but, like, I'm really icked out at this point with this entire situation. You know, I don't want to watch this for entertainment anymore.
The sisters would have been there for their lives.
Right.
So they would know.
Yeah.
But they were trying to show, like, well, he did it because, you know, you should be sympathetic because this before the girls were even around. And it's like, but I don't really care, but I guess I should. You know, it's just...
No.
So, if someone is way into Revolutionary Sisters, feel free to hit me up and let me know. Maybe my assumption from the first episode is way off. We'll see. I did the first episode of Oh My Lady Lord, or whatever the crap that show's called.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hook me. I might try episode 2 later on, but I've been busy watching other things, so... The characters weren't entirely likable. I think that was kind of my thing, but has anybody else watched that one?
Nope. Where is it? Who's got it?
Do I want to say it was IQIYI? It's possible it was.
I think that is it. I think you're right.
And that's kind of,
So many.
I had to go dig to find it. Like, yeah, it wasn't on any of the main things. I was like, maybe it's over there. Then as of today, I randomly ran into 2 web dramas. The Sweet Blood.
The vampire one?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, have you guys watched this?
I haven't watched it, but I saw
Not
the
yet.
trailer
I
for it,
haven't
and I was
seen
like,
the videos people are posting. Ass off.
It
So-
sounds like that J drama, that like level of like bad. You
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that vampire J drama we watched?
Yeah, that's pretty
We
much.
have an episode. We have an episode on that as well. To that one.
So it's on Viki, as far as that's where I'm watching it. They are subbing slowly, so though 3 episodes exist as of recording, the 3rd episode has like 2% subs, so given the fact that the episodes are like 10 minutes long or shorter, like...
Yeah, and it's not like they're using medical terms and like
Right,
large
it's
words.
very basic stuff. But it was vampire. I had to click play. So
I mean, fair.
Legit.
It is what it is. You know?
high school. So first of all, high schooler is what you're dealing with. So I mean, that's not tracking for some people, but it is really bad. But like, that's kind of the glory of it. Like,
Yeah. Sometimes
so,
it's like,
after the first
so
10 minutes,
bad.
you're like, this is awful. I'm gonna watch the second episode.
Yeah,
Like,
no, like there's some things
You
that
know.
it's like it being bad is what makes it enjoyable to
Well,
watch.
True.
and also it's brief. I can commit to a 10-minute bad episode. That's totally fine. It's not an hour of my time. It's 10 minutes of my time. So I watched the first 2 episodes of that. There definitely was one of the random vampire people had blue contacts, which made me laugh. No one else did. Just that one. I was like, why? Why is he having glowy eyeballs? I'm not quite sure.
Because of aesthetics.
Yeah. So then I've seen people talking about the web drama Scripting Your Destiny. It's on Viki. Don't go looking on Cocoa because that's what I did and it's not there. Scripting Your Destiny is 10 episodes, web drama. They're all subbed on Viki, so you don't have to worry about that. 20 minutes an episode-ish.
That's not bad.
If you're a missing goblin, you should go watch that show. I'm 4 episodes in, so I can't say too much about it because I'm not farther. But supernatural fantasy stuff. At the very beginning, they even walk through a tunnel with light behind them, just like Goblin. They do a lot of stuff like that. Long coats, turtlenecks. They're trying the whole shebang of like, we're gods, therefore we all dress like we're in Goblin.
A classic.
But the gods, they write people's destiny, so they pretty much just script people's lives, and whatever they write down will happen. And you have these different types of, different personalities with the different gods and stuff. And then you have Samshin, which we've seen that character in other things like Tale the Nine-Tailed. She's younger, but she has gray hair, and they call her grandma, but she's not. She's like an apprentice or something, but she's the one that like makes the books or whatever. It's really cool. It's very pretty so far. It's very well acted. So to compare to the vampire show, if you're actually looking for a good web drama, Scripting Your Destiny, as far as what I've seen, and I've heard really good things, probably after we're done recording, I'll probably go blow through the rest of it pretty quick. But because I think you add it all up, it's like, oh, it'd be like a super long movie. So I also tried the show Rattan. To see drama, fantasy, supernatural, confusing. I forgot that in C dramas, fantasy supernatural means that we have to talk about aliens in the first 15
yes, times. It's not supernatural. It's sci-fi. Very different.
Even though
boards look the other way.
So the aliens, because I guess they're aliens. So they somehow fell to Earth, but then they became plants. They're like plant people. I don't
merged with plants or something.
So as far as if we ignore the whole like alien angle to this, they're fairies probably.
Yeah,
demons,
spirits of the forest. Yeah, they call them a demon. Like in the description, they said demon. So I was prepared for like demon chick. I was all about that. I was like, that's gonna be cool. I'm like, so it's poison ivy.
Yeah.
Essentially, which is fine. Very pretty close so far. Kind of confusing first episode. I think I watched the first couple of episodes. I got bored.
To 4, and then I said, meh.
Did it continue to be boring? Because it was kind of boring.
No, it continued to be boring and confusing. And pretty.
It was pretty.
But boring and confusing.
She wears really pretty outfits.
Such pretty outfits.
And she's very commanding, and how those immortal people are. So I mean, but some people might really dig it. I think it's super popular in China.
Yeah,
very,
which
very, very popular.
Led to some rumors that he actually might be married now, secretly married, the actor in it. Because
to her?
No, to his manager, apparently, or something.
Oh, that would actually be really cute.
He wasn't named, but there was a whole thing that came out about a popular actor confirmed to be married to his manager. And what the press release initially said was popular actor in the most popular web drama currently airing. And then they retracted. Well, in China, everything is a web drama. A lot of them are web dramas. So, and then they kind of backtracked that a bit and said, no, in a popular, because everyone was like, well, this is the most popular web drama, so it must be him. And you were like, whoa, we said a popular drama, so it could be anybody. We're not saying it's him, but we're not saying it's not him.
Listen, if you don't have the balls to say who it is, say nothing.
Yeah.
I think another thing was in the first episode of Rattan, the character is shown in the past, and she's very, very nice. Yeah. Shown helping kids and being friendly and stuff just for a little bit, and then stuff happens. So then you see her in the present, and she's really not. She's kind of jerky. So it's like, oh, well, this isn't fun anymore. Because, like, a nice immortal person is fun to watch, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
I am going to tell you the one compelling thing about episode 1, just because I thought it was an interesting mechanic of what they were doing. You know, machinations, the guy pretty much awoke the immortal chick, because that's just, there was an accident, and it's what happened by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So he's tied to her because of blood stuff. And of course, she doesn't explain it. You know, it just is what it is. You're my servant type thing. Well, he doesn't like that, so of course he runs away. When that happens, he starts turning old, like old, about to die old.
Like desiccated.
Yeah, and like scary looking to where, so then he kind of does all these tests. It shows him like going closer to her and going for kilometers worth.
Yeah.
Walking. And then he'd get like a little less old. And then he'd try it again. He'd try to go far away, and then he'd like almost die. It was just, that was the best part of episode 1. Just him trying to figure out like, well, I'm stuck doing this.
Yeah, that was boundary. How far can I go?
Dorian Grayed him.
Yeah. And then he comes back and he's like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, meh, I figured you'd figure it out, whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
I knew you'd be back. Like, okay.
So, I'm back on to watching things. Yay! Oh, and I watch my typical Masters in the House. That's been fun. And then like Weekly Idol and stuff like that. So
I've been watching a real grab bag of stuff. Some good, some questionable. So I'll start. I watched. It's like a 2-part drama. It's a Taiwanese drama. And the first part was called Fighting Mr. Second. And then the second part, which takes place 6 years later, is called,
That's a good name.
Why am I...
And maybe I won't cut out this as well. Taste of your own medicine.
What the hell is wrong with me? No, Fighting Mr. Okay, I'm wrong. Fighting Mr. Second is the sequel, which is why I was confused. The first one is called Number One for You, and the second one is called Fighting Mr. Second. And it basically follows these, well, the first season is like these 2 college kids falling in love, and the second season is like 6 years later, like after shit happens in the first one. And it's pretty good. Like, it's not like amazing, but it's solid. The acting is really good. All the people have good chemistry. There's nothing too dubious about it. Like, you know, sometimes we'll get into something dubious that I was watching later. So this one's pretty good. And this was the one I think I was telling Sky and Jessie about it. You know, the minor spoiler alert for Fighting Mr. Second, okay? Minor spoiler alert, so skip past this if you don't want to hear it. You know the trope where someone, like, leaves for a year and then, like, never contacts you, despite the fact that this is set in the modern age and, like, emails and phones exist? Well, in this one it was 6 years, and instead of them being like, oh, it's fine, he sees the dude and, like, looks him in the face, and then the dude's like, oh, it's, like, so nice to see you again, like, and he just, like, hauls back and slaps him right across the face, and it's just like,
yes.
Would actually be mad about being ghosted for 6 years, right? Anyway, it's really good. I do recommend. I've also been keeping up with Sisyphus. That show has me just in it. Like, I'm in it. I can't escape. It's got me. And I realize, like, what I like about it is I read a lot of novels that are very similar to, like, the mechanics of this story. So I was like, yeah, that's why I like this. But, it's, you know, it is what it is. Like, if you liked the first 5 episodes, you're gonna probably keep enjoying the rest of it.
Totally, it continues on that path.
Yes, it's more of the same. Like, you know, there are no, like, surprises with, like, sudden shifts of storytelling. Like, no, you're getting what they delivered to you. So in that sense, it's being very consistent, and you gotta sort of, like, applaud that, because sometimes shows don't. So I've also am in it to win it with the show Vincenzo. Those are like my two currently airing shows that I'm watching. And I'm telling you, Tachyon is having the time of his life.
He is. He
really,
really is.
He is killing it. Actually, the entire cast of this is so good. And it, like, you keep thinking, like, oh, it's not going to get more ridiculous. And then they'll just, like, pull out something that just is so over the top ridiculous that you're like, I can't, like, did not see that coming. But, like, it's really enjoyable as long as you remember it's supposed to be a comedy. If you remember that it's supposed to be a comedy and not, like, a hard-boiled mafia drama, you'll probably enjoy it more. Because if you go into it thinking, like, yes, this is going to be, like, you know, The Godfather K-drama, that's not what you're gonna get. Not at all. The characters are so good. Like, each character has, like, a distinct personality and a distinct, like, role to play in the story that's, like, really nice. There's not really any superfluous, just, like, why is this person even here? Like, they all serve a purpose, which is really nice in storytelling sense that I really enjoy. What else have I been watching? I had it all, like, written down, and then I lost my list that I made. I watched, You Make Me Dance, which was really sweet, but, like, the pacing was real weird. It, like, went real slow for up until the last 2 episodes, and then just went, like, like bullet trained, like, all the plot in the last 2 episodes. So you're like, whoa, calm down, my dude. Like, but it was, you know, it was cute, and the dancing was beautiful. So I've been enjoying all of those. Now, I did start watching another show.
Her expressions right now are very concerning, by the way.
This is, you know how Sky was saying that she had to warn about, like, dubious consent? We are way over the line with this show. This show is very inappropriate, and not in, like, a fun, like, oh, so inappropriate, like, no, this is a crime. This show is a crime. So, it's the newest season of History, so History 4, I don't even remember what the tagline is. It's basically split into, like, 2 different couples. One is really great, and, like, they have, like, the energy that I really love in a ship, which is, like, happy dumbass and, like, quiet brains. So, like, loud, happy dumbass, sort of grumpy, quiet brains. And that's always, like, a cute dynamic. So their plot is that the loud dumbass, they all work at a wedding planning agency in Taiwan. And the loud dumbass's first love, who rejected him, is hired. And he's trying to, like, get her to, like him, but is failing because she's like, I think you're fucking weird and loud, and I want nothing to do with you. But then he finds out that her and this other girl in the office have, like, a boys love appreciation club. So he's like, because he's stupid, is like, if I pretend to be gay, she'll like me.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I was explaining this plot to my husband, and he's like, but how does he come out on top on this one? Like, how she thinks he's gay. But anyway, so he gets his roommate and / best friend, because the 3 main dudes all live together in an apartment. He sort of hoodwinks him into pretending to be the guy that he's trying to woo. So it's so stupid. It's so stupid, but they're so, like, their chemistry as, like, friends, and, like, the smart one being like, why are you doing this? This is the stupidest thing. But then immediately turning around when the girl shows up to be like, oh, honey, like, not right now. Like, wait till we're at home. Like, so, like, he's like, you're so stupid, but then plays along with it anyway. But then there's the second half of the show. And this is where, big spoiler warning, but this is a very important spoiler warning, because I feel like this could really take people by surprise and be very damaging.
It's literally a trigger warning, not just a content warning.
literally a trigger warning. So in this plot, it's like this guy, and he's openly gay, but he hasn't told his father. And so, not to disappoint his father, he had moved out, even though he liked living at home. And his father's married to this other woman, so he has a stepbrother. But the stepbrother's, like, in love with him. But the stepbrother's also psychotic. Like, he's just fucking psychotic. So then, he's the only one nice to this kid, this 20-year-old, because he's his brother, right? And so he, like, takes him out for his birthday. And this is where the spoiler begins. And this is what has made me drop the show. So I am very important to warn people. The brother gets him drunk and then rapes him. And then the older brother wakes up and thinks that he was the one who took advantage of his younger brother and has, like, a total mental breakdown. Anyway, it's awful. It's awful. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is a fucking crime. So anyway, the show is just all over the place. Do not recommend. Avoid. Very disappointed in this show.
And the history series in the past, they didn't have anything near that bad, right?
No, like the first season was messy and maybe had some dubious, but never to that extent.
Never straight up.
They were super short episodes, so it was like,
yeah. And this is like a full length show where it's like, it was like right, like literally the last scene where I'm like, did that just happen? Like, and then like, I was like literally taken aback. And then like our whole group chat that I was watching, it was like, oh my God, you do not see. Anyway, it's really bad. Don't watch it. Don't
go watch something else.
It's very disappointing because like history was such a like happy endings, cute stories with happy endings. And then they started not giving you a happy ending. And now they're not giving us cute stories. And it's like, then what are you here for? Get out.
However, like, if you do want to watch something that's good, another show I'm watching is 1,000 Stars, which is on YouTube. And it is so good.
Isn't that the one that you guys waited for a long time?
Yeah.
And you were just
forever.
Yes, it was the one it was literally supposed to come out this time last year. But then COVID just kept getting it pushed back. And then it got pushed back so far that the rainy season started. And since it was the rainy season and most of it's filmed in the jungle, they couldn't film in the jungle. So they had to film it in like December. Anyway, it is so good, y'all. It is for free on YouTube. It is quality content. Very quick plot summary. The main guy gets a heart transplant and wants to find out who the owner of the heart that he has is, and finds out she's a volunteer teacher in a remote village near the border of northern Thailand. And so he then goes and becomes the volunteer teacher in this town. And it is like it is so heartwarming, y'all, of like him becoming friends with all of the, the villagers and like the 4 kids that live in this village because it's like so remote. There's like no one lives there. It's like really, really nice and I really recommend it. I'm watching 2 more shows. I'm almost at the end. 2 more. I know I held up 4 fingers there, but 2 more. So one is another Thai show called Lovely Writer. And it is very sweet and adorable. And it's about a writer who was forced by his editor to write a boys' love novel that became popular. So then it's being made into a TV show. And he gets forced to go on set and, like, interact with the hot actors on this TV. Anyway, it's a pretty standard, but very cute. And the other one is probably the funniest parody of a genre I have ever seen in my life. It is a Japanese show called The Man Who Defies the World of BL. And so it's basically the plot, it's only 6 episodes, like it's real short, is this college student who is like, I woke up and realized that I am living in a BL manga universe. But I don't want to be a main character in a boys' love manga. So he's doing everything in his power to stay like an extra in
This
this
sounds like
universe.
Extraordinary You.
But like
It is.
reversed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly.
He wants to
like,
be a side character, not a main
Yeah,
character.
she wanted to be the main.
because he wants to
That's like
avoid
my
being
thing, man.
gay, but everything around him is trying to make him gay. And it also has the funniest opening credits I have ever seen in my life. It has like the 5 main characters, and they're all dressed up like in like a 70s like disco like outfit, and they're like on like singing like the plot of the show, where it's like, this is a BL, but I'm just an extra. Like, and it's just like it's so over the top, and so like at one point, like, you know, like a hot male character will come in, and like the roses will suddenly like bloom behind him, and like the glow comes down. He's like, oh no. I have to avoid it. Like, it's so good. It is so funny.
I'm gonna have to watch that one. That sounds
No,
fun.
it is so stupid, but like purposefully
Yeah.
stupid that it's just a delight. I've also been watching Teen Wolf.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
I thought you were talking about there was an Asian drama remake.
No. I'm talking about the American drama from a couple years ago, Teen Wolf.
How many seasons did that sucker have?
6 seasons. I am actually a huge Teen Wolf fan, and I've been like really anxious lately, and I was like, I really want to watch something that I've already seen that I know I enjoy. So I've been just rewatching Teen Wolf. I love this show. It's like my favorite American show, and I'm like a little embarrassed to admit it, but like it's actually a pretty good show, y'all.
There's a strong fan community for that show.
Like,
True.
It's a solid show. Like, even my husband's watching it with me right now, and he's like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." Like, it's just not bad. Like, it's the most relatable werewolf show I've ever seen. Let's just Twilight. Who? You don't know her. Werewolves only. No, it's really good. If you haven't seen Teen Wolf, and I think it's on Hulu.
Probably.
I don't know, that feels correct to me. It's on nowhere in Canada. Just so you know.
Junker.
Was originally on MTV, right?
Yeah, it was an MTV show.
So I don't know if MTV has their own online platform or anything like that. So, but I would assume whatever is attached.
Since
to
it was on MTV, the soundtrack's like real good. You can actually there is a Spotify playlist. If you go on Spotify, that's called Teen Wolf Soundtrack Complete 6 Seasons. It has 391 songs on it. It is 27 hours and 6 minutes long.
Woo!
And every single one is a banger.
Nice.
Like, it's a good one. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now because I could talk about Teen Wolf forever, so I won't. And I will send it off to Jessie.
Well, don't worry. I haven't been watching much, so mine is going to be very short.
Okay.
I, like Sky, am coming to the maybe not realization, but like accepting the fact that like new is not like the thing that I can keep up with. And I think I've been trying to watch new stuff ever since I like started on Twitter, because I knew that was going to be a thing that I would probably have to do because of spoilers. I knew going in when I created this Twitter, but also in terms of the podcast and keeping up with stuff.
Yeah.
Especially this year, and like especially like right now, I've been working on my portfolio and doing stuff that like literally requires me to not to be even like kind of involved with what's going on the TV. So it has to be stuff I've watched or I can have in the background really easy, or just music. So it's just it just hasn't really happened. I've kept up with some stuff, but I'm just gonna watch whatever I'm gonna watch, and it's hard because all I watch is stuff that actually would be ruined by spoilers, and since people are not consistent on the timelining, that's really hard. But I'm just like, I'll just start muting people. So it's just like come to that conclusion. So I did finish Nishi blah 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 the you know, the little bar,
the bartender.
Yeah, the bartender one.
Oh yeah.
I really like the last half of it more than the first half, but like overall it's a small little drama, and it's easy, and I think like it's fine. Like I don't have any problem recommending it to people. It's so tiny too. It's like 6 episodes long, 25 minutes a piece.
Yeah.
It's easy. Sweet little drama. I am behind, but I have watched more Beyond Evil, and that is still currently my favorite of all the dramas that have been airing right now. It's just so good and so tense and just keeps you engaged in the entire thing, and you're kind of wondering what's happening, and it's just solid. Everybody in the entire cast is so good too, so I think that really helps. What's his name? Yojin Gu. He's so good in this, and he works so well with the other guy, who I have no clue his name at all. But they just like play off of each other really well, and I think it's great. And I've heard it's gonna be on Netflix when it ends. I don't want to say that's a thing, because the place that I saw that like said that it was gonna be, it's not they've never said a Netflix like thing that was going to be on Netflix that actually applied to North America. So like that's why I'm like, it probably is going to like the same countries that always get like all the really good K-dramas. But like if you have a VPN, I guess it does.
Yeah.
It works for you.
Is that one of the ones that's on demand Korea but without subs? Because sometimes they show up on ODK but don't get subbed. But then ODK has the North American rights, so it doesn't show up on Netflix. And you're
where
like,
are you watching it, Jessie?
Places
elsewhere.
Somewhere.
Don't you mind where
My
she's
laptop.
watching?
Sorry. Sorry.
Pay no attention to the
what are you
man behind the curtain.
about? But yes, Beyond Evil, I highly recommend it, and I think it's on episode 12, so it's like starting to be in the last half of the series. So if you are someone who like tries to plan out that you want to start binging, now would probably be a good time to start binging. Mouse. Last episode, I was speaking the praises of Mouse. I am sad to inform you that episode 1 is the standout of that show. The show is good, but it's nowhere where it was on episode 1. And it like to the point where it was like a complete different shift. Like you could have shown me episode 1 and episode 2 and told me it was 2 different shows, and I would believe you in a second.
Yeah.
I wish I had kept up to the intensity of that first episode, which I know would have been hard for people, but like Beyond Evil is at that intensity. I mean, maybe not that amount of murder, but like it's at that intensity, and they've been able to keep it up. It does some really weird things. Like I've talked about before in the past how I don't like comedy, and it's not really that like I hate all comedy. I just don't like comedy in most places because it's not right. Like I don't, it's never endearing. Like, so it's always forced, and which makes it seem very like it seems like a joke. It makes the show a joke. It feels off, and it feels like you're just like it feels like you're playing a prank on the victims of the show. Yeah. And Mouse kind of does that. It has kind of these like light parts that are just like, you can tell that they're trying to like lighten the show. Again, you don't need to lighten the show. It's a dark show. Other shows have done it fine, so it's not like it's it's not heard of in Korea. But like a specific example I would give to you is that they decided it would be a fun gag for there to be this one piece of evidence that was on one of the police officers' desks. The junior cop grabs it, and it's an edible thing, and he eats it. And they thought it was just like joke. It was like a joke of that thing. Like that was their thing. And then they have this whole thing where like it gets like someone tells the press, and it gets wind of the press. So there's like a little bit of like a bad thing, but like it never is really dressed, and it's just kind of like played off. And it was unneeded, and it just like, I know cop shows, like most of them have like really terrible cops, like they're just incompetent at their job. Yeah. And so you feel bad for the victims because of that. You feel more bad when it's like the joke was that like one of the cops ate the evidence. Like it would have been better if it was literally he grabbed papers on the desk to shred, and one of the evidence pieces was something he shredded.
Yeah.
Like that would have worked better. And it keeps trying to do those like really light random things. Also, I do not like the character, main cop guy. He's just not good at his job, but it's kind of, even though he's on suspension, he's kind of perceived as being good, even though he shows up to, I don't know, places drunk. But it's fine. It's like good, but not great. Like that first episode, like honestly, if I were to rate the first episode, it would be like a 10 out of 10. And like right now we're at like a 6 out of 10 for the rest of the series, type thing. And I wish it had matched. And there are like parts where it like gets there, but it's basically only ever parts that don't involve the cop characters, which Sunggi's one of them, so of course he's on all the time. So
right,
yeah. So it's like and it's also one of the 20 episode ones. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch all this. We'll see. Maybe we'll keep up with it. Fingers crossed. That's okay. Maybe it works better as like a binge without other things to watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if you weren't watching like a really, really good crime cop show.
If it was like the only thing around.
If it was, I really like it. Probably actually would have been better if that episode 1 hadn't been as good. It probably would have made the like
it put the bar too high for the rest of the show.
Like it really did. I was just like, this is so good. I wanted so much for it to be as good and just.
Well, because then it showed that they could do that, because they did it in the first episode.
Like a lot of the characters that are in that like one are in these other ones. I don't know. So it's fine. I mean, I think other people are liking it though, so I don't know. I don't look at the timeline on the mouse just because I don't want to spoil myself on that one. Sisyphus, I haven't watched past what I watched before that episode that we did. I just haven't picked it up. I might pick it up. It's actually kind of in that like realm of maybe possibly dropping, but like dropping for time right now. It's not like it's done anything bad.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up with Vincenzo, but I have been like slowly watching that. Surprise, surprise. So here we are.
I wonder why.
That you say that, but it really is. That's never my like driving force on a show.
I know. Just kidding. Just joshing you.
I think because there's a substantial amount of comedy, and then the darkness is there too. Like the percentage is not off. It's not like 3% comedy that just comes in at random where you're like, this time's weird. It's like supposed to be. And then Tech is doing great, and I think even like as you said, the character or the actors are doing great, and I think they're actually a lot of fun doing them. So I think that's like what's coming through most with the show is just how much fun everybody is having on set. I started watching like literally yesterday this J-drama called 13. It's like a remake of the BBC show 13. Never seen it, so I can't tell you how it compares. If I were to like judge it based on that CSI that I was watching from Japan, it's probably very close to it. So it's probably like, exactly it. It's about this girl who was kidnapped when she was younger, and she was released like 13 years later. And so it's like focuses on the police officers trying to find the guy, the girl, and her like dealing with the fact that she's been held captive for 13 years, has like Stockholm syndrome and that sort of thing. And then like the family, her parents and her little sister, who are now back with the daughter who they've been like searching for all this time. So it's really good. I enjoy it. And it's a short drama too. It's only 4 episodes long, so I'll get through it pretty quick. But really, if I'm really being honest with what I am watching all the time, is something that after so many times of linking it in our posts, I finally started watching, and that's Hermitcraft Minecraft.
Yay! I got her in. Booyah! She's in it now. She'll never. There's like 5 billion of them, and they all have like 5 billion in
Oh
videos.
my god, it's like there's just so much because they're on the 7th season of it. Like, essentially, it's their 7th world. They just recreate a world every single time, and then there's different people every season. Some of them like stay, some of them have been there since the first one. So like you can watch one person's YouTube channel and all of their videos for their season, so whatever they do participation. So it's like a combination of like whatever they're doing for their builds, and then sometimes they do fun stuff. They play a lot of games, so that like it requires you actually to like see how they make the game too. So like their episodes, and they'll do some things together. So then you'll have like other people that you could go watch. That's all I'm watching. Not a lot.
Not a lot, just 500 Minecraft videos. Various people.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'm still watching Hello Me. I quite like it, but I've kind of put it on hold for a bit. It and a couple of other dramas all hit the like the corporate espionage, somebody you trust in the family is doing something douchey that you're not going to expect and is going to really, really hurt you. Plotline, all in the same week. And I was like, I just don't.
Classic.
I was like, forget it. I'm not watching any of you.
You can only push through so much of that at once. Right?
Yeah. I was like, no. And in every one of these dramas that I'm watching where this plot has come up, it's always the super nice character who is getting screwed over by somebody they absolutely love and adore. Ugh. And who, like a character who would 100% step aside for this character and just say, no, okay, cool. Like run the company or take this or, you know, because they're just sweet, lovable characters. And somebody that they love, like absolutely adore, think this is the greatest person in the planet, doesn't think the same way, right? And can't believe that they aren't going to try and take their share one day and take everybody's share because that's the way they think. So of course, everybody else must be like that. And it's always the nicest characters getting screwed over. And I'm like, I just can't watch this right now.
I just don't have the energy in me.
No. So I do still like it, and it's interesting, and I'm glad I stuck with it because like the first couple episodes were rough, but like after that, I'm glad I stuck with it. For me, I am enjoying it. I just corporate espionage. Anyway,
corporate espionage is like the court politics of the sake.
It's a necessary evil, really.
Yeah. And I mean, I should expect it, right? Like this drama, and it comes up in the Wonder Woman as well, the Taiwanese drama that I'm watching. They're both basically office dramas, like to a certain point, like. They're office stories. Of course, there's going to be an office politics story because what do you do in an office drama other than politics? But like, which fine, but does it always have to be with a family member you love and trust? Can't it be, you know, some rando or some employee or some, like?
No.
And sometimes it's
no,
like,
it can't be.
And sometimes it's like an employee is doing something that could actually seriously damage the company. And you're like, this isn't in your best interest either, because if the company goes under, you have no job. Like, you get this, right? Like, this isn't, but it's like they want to screw over a different employee. So I'm going to do this thing that could actually completely kill the company. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. Don't do that.
You're like, methinks you have some problems with your plot, you know?
So anyway, those two they're in a timeout right now. They'll be allowed out of the corner eventually, I'm sure, but right now, no. Sweet Home has been, I've started watching it again. Our sister podcast, our bays over at K-Bay, are recapping Sweet Home right now. So I had to get ahead of them. So it was the kick in the pants I needed to get back going. I still really like it. It's kind of intense at times, but like intense in a weird way, like unexpected for me. Like,
yeah,
you know, you expect, okay, it's a monster movie and it's a monster show, so it should be like scary and intense, but like the intense moments are like the grief-stricken people who are crying and like
stuff.
Yeah, it's very good. Or like the scary moments are never the monsters for me. It's the people. Like the
Welcome to most horror.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
it's
for sure.
So it's very so yeah, there's monsters, but like the monsters are by far not the scariest thing on this show. I quite like it. It's very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. And I'm enjoying listening to Michael and Robbie talk about it too, because Robbie has read the manga. So it's kind of neat to hear his take on it, because he is really, really enjoying the show, and he's really, really enjoying the aspects that are exactly like the manga. Like the monsters, he says look exactly like they looked in the manga and stuff. So he loves that aspect of it. But he also really loves the things that they've changed. Like he really appreciates and is curious about, well, you know, because Michael will say, like, is this where that's going? And he'll be like, I don't know, because that character's not in the manga, so I don't know where that's going. So I'm excited to see what they're doing with that. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's weird because when I first started it, I watched like 3 episodes in one sitting, and I could have kept going, but like the kids came home and stuff, you know. And then it sat on the shelf for a couple of months, and now I can only like watch like 1 episode at a time, and then I'm like, okay, that's enough for today. I'm gonna like do something else. So
meanwhile, Jessie watched it straight.
I know. Just like I was in it,
It was up on Netflix for 15 minutes, and I was like, should I stay up all night? And then I did.
I know. I know you did.
Did I stay up all night? Yes. Yes, I should.
There was no yes or no. It was there. Just
and I feel like if I had all the time available to me the day it came out, I would have probably done the same thing. Like I was in that same headspace. Like and then I don't know, something's different now, and I'm like, no, I can't keep watching it. I need to take breaks now. So whatever, but I'm still with it. I still like it. So How to Be 30. It's a Korean drama, short episodes. They're like 20 minutes long. There's, I think, 12 episodes.
So is that a web drama then? Or just
I was interested about that.
I guess so. It's on Viki. It was on IQIYI, which I know Annie told us how to pronounce it, and it's completely lost from my brain again.
I'm going to always spell it.
I think it's like IQIYI or something, but I don't know. The website is IQ.com, so I'll just call it IQ. But it was on there for the first like 2 weeks, and then it suddenly disappeared. And now on Viki, it says it's a Viki original, so I'm curious what happened there. So, yeah, so it's interesting. It's good. It's not exactly what I thought I was getting when I started it, but the main thing that draws me in it is that it's about 3 girlfriends who are like really tight, and the way they're written and the way they're acting, that friendship is so good and so solid. Like it seems real. Like the way they joke with each other, the way they tease each other, and it just all feels very, very natural whenever the friends are together, and that I really dig that. It's interesting because if you look at the poster is set up very much as if it's a love triangle, as if the show is going to be a love triangle. Song Jae-rim is the other male lead. He's barely in the show. So I'm on like episode 9, and he has been in maybe 3 episodes for like 5 minutes at a time.
And he's on the poster, right?
And he's on the poster. Like it's her between him and Kang Min Hyuk, and he's barely in it. And you're like, so like, I'm kind of wondering if the whole plot is going to be that she's with the one character, but like in the end realizes this isn't a healthy relationship or something, and they break up and she winds up with the other guy or something like that.
Yeah, there has to be some shift that happens in order for him to be on the poster.
At the point that there's 3 episodes left. And he's barely been in the show. And I'm like,
when are you coming in here, my dude? Like,
so, and every time he's there, he seems like a good dude. He seems nice, but like he only talks to her about work. He's like, I don't know why the poster is, and if you pay really close attention to the poster, Kang Min Hyuk's character is he's like up with the girl, but his hand is back behind him, and if you look, he's holding hands with somebody else. So it's actually a love square.
The old classic.
Yeah.
Love
So
square.
it's interesting. I like it. I'm one of the friends has a Noona romance with the cutest thing I've ever seen. He's freaking adorable, all like tall and gangly with this like shaggy hair and this big smile, and he's just freaking adorable. And she, of course, is the like, no, love is not for me. I only date men with, big wallets, and you're a small child. Like, stay away from me. And he's like, I am an adult. Like, like it's not. So he's adorable. And then the third friend owns a bar, and she's just come out of a really long-term relationship where she was like living with this guy. They were running this bar together, and then she found out he was cheating on her. And now she broke up with him, like didn't have a conversation with him about it, nothing. She just was like, you're out. See ya. And now he's started coming back around, and she's found out that the other woman is getting married to somebody else. So now he's back, and she's like, nah. No. So
You're like, nice try, muchacho.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So it's interesting. It's like I said, it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be from the first episode. It's like, oh, it's going to be this cute little like rom-com-y, and it's really not. It's almost more of like a romantic slice of life. Like, we're going to show you a bunch of different things that go on in life, and it also focuses a lot on the girls' careers and what they're doing work-wise and stuff too. So short episodes, easy to watch, and by the time this comes out, the last episode I think will be out, because I think it's like Tuesdays and Saturdays or something. So,
and they're on Viki?
Yeah. So, and they seem to be getting subbed reasonably quickly. So far. Yeah, like
never can tell.
Well, there's only one exactly. There's one episode left to go, and
you never know.
When I looked on Monday, it was like, okay, episode 11 tomorrow, and today, Wednesday, episode 11 is 99% sub. So seems like it was good. I don't know.
So that team's in it to win it with the sub.
Yeah, clearly.
They've got a dedicated subbing team.
I mean, you would hope when it's a Viki original.
Dude, it doesn't always matter.
I know, but like,
it doesn't matter to them.
I know. It's so frustrating.
Because you would actually think that the Viki originals would get, but not always. Not always.
No. Sigh. So yeah, wanting something else sort of light and fluffy, and I dropped Rattan, so I was like, oh, I need a new C drama to watch, and I kept hearing so many good things about Perfect and Casual, so I thought, oh, it's apparently light and fluffy, zero extraneous drama, like zero problematic, it's just perfect and casual. And I'm like, hey, that sounds perfect. So started it. I like it. I binged like 9 episodes in 2 days. Okay. It is not perfect. It is not unproblematic. It is not.
You got
It's good and it's watchable. It is. It's good and watchable. But the male lead is annoying. I didn't see even a spark of something I should like about him until about episode 4. And then in episode 4, they start giving you things and you're like, okay. I see where you're going with this. And it looks like they're going to make him fall first. So the concept is it's a contract marriage. Mm-hmm. She gets scammed out of all of her money buying what she thinks is a new home. It's not, it's his home. He's not selling.
A classic.
Yeah. But
real estate scam.
She meets his grandfather through other circumstances and really likes him. They really, really hit it off. And his grandpa is dying. He has like a year to live. And grandpa's greatest wish is to see his favorite grandson happily married so that somebody else can take care of him, right? Classic. He says, here's the deal. We'll get married. We'll stay married for a year. That's, because then grandpa will die and we'll get a divorce. And you can keep the house at the end of this.
Hey,
it's like a pretty good deal. She likes grandpa already, so she's like, okay, I mean, this is not a horrible plan. So on the base, not so bad. In the first episode, what got a little bit of a red flag for me is that she's a college student.
Oh,
he's her professor.
Oh no.
Okay, so immediately.
Listen, you had me with contract marriage, you had me with the plot, and then you immediately lost me.
I immediately went to Twitter and I was like, hang on. And everyone was like, no. It's like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. She's like graduating. Okay, it's true. She's about to graduate. But she doesn't graduate because she is 57 seconds too late to her dissertation defense setup seminar thingy. And he refuses to allow her to defend her thesis and he fails her.
You know what I love about
right
that?
There.
That's not how any of that ever works in college at all.
The other teachers who are sitting there are like willing to let her go. And he's like, no, and she's like, 5 minutes. You're allowed to be 5 minutes late. He's like, you're 5 minutes and 57 seconds late. You fail. And so she has a college degree, but not technically so not only is she broke, she can't live in the dorms anymore because she's not a student. And she doesn't have a college degree because she doesn't. So I'm like, the power imbalance is massive. Now, age-wise, they make a point of telling you that he was a child genius and he went to university when he was like 14. So the age gap is not
better. That's not better.
I mean, like if he's gonna do that to her during that instance, he's gonna do it to her in like private
instances.
Yeah,
right.
So
he's not a good dude.
That's part of the contract as well. Is that he realizes that he's emotionally not real great. So he realizes that he screwed her. Yes, she was late, but he could have been more understanding. So part of the contract is that he's going to help her to like beef up her dissertation better because she gets to redefend it like a year later or whatever. And so he's going to spend the year helping her do better so that like she'll blow everybody out of the water kind of thing with her defense.
Oh,
okay, fine.
That's what every college-educated girl needs, a man to help her really succeed.
And this is my problem. The show is reasonably cute, okay? Mm-hmm. It is pretty cute. It's like the director is making choices to dumb her down more and age her down more. Ugh. And it's annoying. And every time I think, okay, this is too much, I'm going to quit, they give me something and they like, oh, okay, it's getting better. So like she realizes this scenario is not working. This isn't a good plan. She gets I can't just live here, live off this, sponge off this guy. I'm going to go get a job. She goes to get a job working in a supermarket. And it's rough to begin with, but it gets better. She gets better at her job. Okay, great. She impresses her boss and she's doing well. She impresses a customer in the store so much that he actually asks her to come interview to be his assistant in his law firm. And she gets a new job as an assistant in the law firm. And you're like, okay. They're starting to even this playing field out. They're starting to raise her up, right? No, he got her the job. He's friends with the lawyer and he doesn't like her working in the supermarket. He thinks she could do better. And then they make a point of showing you in like a post-credit scene that she also wasn't good at the supermarket job without him. He helped her to be good at the supermarket job.
I hate everything. Nothing about this sounds good. Like, no.
This sounds like Coffee and Vanilla.
Yes.
Worse.
So, the way that the director keeps framing everything, it's like this guy doesn't want a wife and a partner. He wants a kid or a pet. Like, and it's kind of like, it could be really, really good. It's not horrible, but it is not the perfect drama-free fluff that I was promised. So I am frustrated by that, but I keep watching it because
too invested
I watched,
now.
I
get it.
9 episodes in 2 days, and then it took a week to watch the next 3 episodes because every episode it was like annoying me, and then like, oh, it's starting. Nope, annoying me. Starting to get good. Nope, annoying me. Starting, like, they keep ending on a high note, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like terrible because one of my favorite dramas is about a professor and a student falling in love, but it's not this. It's not.
I know.
It's
and
not
it just, what, like, the first after the college thing, the first moment where I was like, hang on, I think it was episode 9, that really worried me about what direction the director was going to take it, was their wedding night. And the way that the director frames it, she thinks they're going to have sex. He's not at all there. He's not thinking of her that way at all. But he comes into her room to talk to her about her dissertation, and she thinks they're going to have sex. And the way the director frames this, she's sitting on her bed, clutching her stuffed animal, and he focuses on her hands clutching the stuffed animal, and it...
Gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
It's a really, really brief framing, but it just gave off such like girl waiting to be molested by daddy kind of vibe. And I was like, why are you doing that? Because she's an adult. If you're listening and you loved it, love the things you love. Maybe it's just that my radar is tuned up for this right now. I don't know, but it's annoying me right now.
I hate it.
So, yeah. But ending on a high note, Navarilla on Netflix. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I can't even begin to explain how much I love this drama about a young man who is training to become a ballerino, a dancer, a male ballet dancer. He has had a rough life, difficulty. His mother was a ballerina and she passed away a couple years ago. His father's in prison. He just wants to dance. And he's adorable and really good. And then the bookend to this story is this old man who turns 70. And when he was young, he fell in love with ballet and he wanted to dance so badly. And his father was like, dancing is for girls. You can't make money at dancing. I don't want you up on a stage wearing makeup and shaking your bum. You can't, no. And he never had anything. And now he goes to one friend's funeral. And then he goes to visit another friend who's dying in the nursing home. And his friend was a boat builder. And he says, remember all those boats that I used to build for other people and how I always said I was going to build myself a boat and I never did? That's all I can think about now is the boat that I never built for myself. And there's a fantastic scene in the first episode where the old man, he's just given up on his dream and he's got this of things, of tickets to shows that he's been to, of he's followed certain dancers through their careers and he has all their clippings and, you know, just all this stuff. And he's just taking it and throwing it in the garbage, just throwing all these bits in the garbage. And the phone rings and he answers it. And it's his friend, the boat builder. And he says, don't throw it out. And he's like, what are you saying? He's like, don't throw it away. I'm just telling you, don't throw it away. The premise is that he gathers up his nerve and he goes to this dance studio where he had seen this young man practicing, and he goes and it turns out he like meets him. It's like, wait, are you, I can't remember the character's name, but he's like, are you I followed your entire career. Like, I'm a super fan. And he's like, thanks, that's nice, I guess. And he's like, what do you want, Grandpa? And he's like, I want you to teach me ballet. And he's like, oh.
I guess that technically is my job. But,
so he's like, well, we don't really do that here. This is just a practice space for people, you know, but he's having a hard time getting his young dancer to just fully commit. He's working part-time jobs. He's doing all this stuff. And he knows he could be fantastic if he would fully commit. So what he sets up is, you're going to teach the old man how to ballet. That's your job now. And he's like, I don't want to teach the old man ballet either. And he's like, I don't care. You can teach them or you can get out. This is my studio. I make the rules.
Yeah.
Teach the old man how to dance or get out. Yeah, it's so good. The vibe is it's very warm. Like, it kind of puts me in mind of the warmth of When the Weather is Fine. Like that just sort of mellow, warm, kind of cute and funny. Like I all laugh. The first episode is the hardest one. Like it's pretty heavy, but I've laughed as much as I've cried. And it also kind of really gave me vibes of My Mister, and a little bit like Just Between Lovers. Like it's got that sort of like healing and moving forward kind of vibe to it, which is really nice. It's really beautiful and sweet, and just, it's so far, fingers crossed, it stays as good as it started. So I'm loving it. I am.
And that one's based on a webtoon, right?
Yes, it is. So, which I don't know how that story goes. So, but yeah, it's good. So they're pushing each other, and so the old man also feels like, you know, like I need to pay for lessons. So the teacher guy is like, it's played by Tae-hoon, who I love, Kim Tae-hoon. And
I'll be waiting for that funeral.
Shut it. No. His character is a delight. Like, I've seen him laugh, and it wasn't like an evil laugh.
Listen, his
he
character
was just happy.
His character usually is a delight until it's not anymore.
I know. He's got a really interesting relationship with his ex-wife, who's also a dancer and teaches dance school. It's cute. They're cute together. Yeah, it's just good. It's sweet. It's easy so far. I mean, not easy, but like easy in the sense that
it's not stressful to watch.
No, like
it's early on though. There's a lot left of that show still.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure the heartbreak.
But it's like, well, and there was heartbreak in the first episode. Like there was tears, there was crying, it was rough. Some of the bits in the first episode, and even second and third episodes, there are moments, right? But it fits. It's all the drama isn't breaking your heart, you know what I mean? Like it's not setting up things that it's not delivering. It's telling a good story, and I like that. So I'm happy. And then also I found out that Disney Plus has all 6 seasons of Cougar Town on it, which I love Cougar Town, and I've only ever watched like the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then it got like canceled and then came back, but it was on a different network and I couldn't watch it in Canada. So like I've been watching more of that than I probably should in one sitting. So but yeah, so that's my non-Asian drama that I'm watching. And I'm watching a lot of it.
You know.
So it goes down so easy, like a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been what we were watching for this past little while. We hope you enjoyed listening to it. Stay tuned. On Wednesday, we're going to have a second episode of what we've been listening to and talk about all the music that we've been listening to in the past little while. Yeah. So, if you want to join the Certified Found Family, we are now on Patreon. We have moved. Woo! It's Patreon is just so great. We got lots of fun stuff planned, so you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas, all one word, and you can join the Found Family there. We have 3 tiers. They're all named after K-drama tropes. Like it's, we're making it fun. And we got some fun stuff planned. If you want to listen to us in other places, we are wherever podcasts can be found. We are also on YouTube, and we are also, of course, on our website, certifiednoonas.com, that has all the time zones and links to everything that we talk about here on the podcast. There's also Certified Noonas My Drama List, where the stuff that we watched will be listed, I believe. Correct?
I keep our watch list, anything we're currently watching. So I don't get to keep up with every single thing that we're watching.
And we have a Spotify with tons of fun playlists, and we are also on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter mostly, and that's where you can reach us most easily. So it's always @CertifiedNoonas, all one word. Anyway, we hope you have a fun and safe week and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye!
Bye! Bye.